Welcome back to Switch to Linux. If you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Leave us a like and a comment down below. Also, let me know how you like that introduction. A little bit different than I usually do, but hey, I figured I'd go ahead and give it a try. Of course, we do want to talk about the subject of if you happen to find a random USB drive laying around, it is not wise to plug it into your computer. Also, if you are traveling about and you see those wonderful USB charging stations, it is not wise to plug your phone into somebody else's cord at somebody else's power station. You should just go ahead and buy yourself something like a good old power brick. I have a bunch in here, of course, and van lifer and all that. This guy here can charge your phone about twice, I think, and it cost me like $10 or something. You should have those. You should carry your own cables. Slip them on into your computer bags as you're traveling, and don't worry about getting your phone infested with malware. In fact, kind of funny, if you've ever seen that image, there's actually a meme image of a CIA sponsored phone charger at an airport. I'll be plugging my device right into that. Yeah. But anyway, it is dangerous to pick up USB drives and plug them randomly into your computer, and Linux kernel developers are aware of this, and there's actually a discussion right now about submitting a patch to protect against certain types of malicious USB devices. And so this is kind of a nice little thing here. So the patch is submitted to the Linux kernel mailing list proposing a new HID driver that would passively monitor USB keyboards like devices and flag the ones that look like they're up to no good. So they talk about a couple of different types of these devices, and the driver here is HID OMG detect. This is going to be looking for a specific type of malicious USB device. And that type of USB device is going to, it's a type of firmware that is flashed onto the USB drive. And when you plug it into your computer, the computer sees it not as a USB drive, but it sees it as a keyboard. And then the keyboard, allegedly, jumps in and just starts doing all sorts of crazy things. It'll load terminals and all sorts of other things like that. And it will just go ahead and wreak havoc all over your device. And so this is going to detect against this mostly by putting in some form of check here to see precisely how fast is this alleged keyboard typing. So is this a real threat? Well, I think I don't know. I like to believe that people are more intelligent than to pick up a random USB drive and randomly pop it in their computer. But I just don't have the confidence that that's actually the case these days. Anyway, bad USD was first disclosed in 2014 by security researchers who works to reprogram the firmware on a USB device to impersonate a keyboard. Operating system sees it as a perfectly normal input device, trusts it completely, and lets it do whatever its payload tells it to be. It opens terminals, downloads malware, and exfiltrates data. Now, the OMG cable takes the same idea, hides it inside something that looks like a regular USB cable. There's a tiny implant built in that can inject keystrokes, log them, spoof USB identifiers to dodge detection, and be controlled remotely by Wi-Fi. That's exciting. And of course, that long cable is the antenna, by the way. So this is still a threat, and so it's interesting to see that the Linux kernel developers are discussing this and talk about mitigation of one of these types of devices. But I wanted to go ahead and mention that really quick here on a video, and just as a subtle reminder, don't plug in random USB drives that you happen to find laying around. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.